Hello everyone, myself Paul Makwana, Assistant Professor of PC Department at Chemical and Engineering Technology. Welcome to the session of radar and navigation fields. In the previous session we have started with number 1, that is the introduction. So in the last session we have studied the advantages, disadvantages of radar, applications of radar, and we have seen what are different types of range like minimum range, unambiguous range, range resolution, and we have seen the basic formula for radar range. So in today's session we are going to study direction gain, power gain, its example, and the radar cross section. Now what do we mean by power gain? So the power gain is nothing but the gain of the actual system. We can say that if my antenna is going to transmit the power having a peak value up to a certain distance, then we can say that my power gain is nothing but we are going to combine the total power which is going to be which at specific distance P is equals to P peak, that is the peak value, into the normal our power gain divided by 4 pi r square. Now what is R? R is nothing but a range. A range stands for the distance between my radar antenna and the target. Alright, it always be in the kilometer. Now what is radar cross section? So radar cross section is nothing but we can say that this is our antenna, radar antenna, alright, and based on the shape of my target, the signal is going to be reflected. The reflected signal is known as the echo signal, alright. So from the first shape of the target, it is like a sphere, right? So if I am going to transmit the signal from the radar antenna to the spherical shape of any target, we can say that the signal is going to be scattered. Okay, some part of the signal is going to be reflected and some part of the signal is going to be scattered, right? Second case, over here, my radar antenna is going to be transmitted the signal, and after some time the signal is going to be reflected back if the surface of my target is reflected. Alright, so all the waves are going to be reflected, right? Third, as radar antenna is going to transmit the signal to the tilted plate, so my echo signal is going to be directed towards this direction in which the plate is tilted, right? Third, we have seen tilted plate. Fourth, if my target is having a corner like this, okay, so my signal is going to be reflected, like it will going to touch at the one plate, again it's going to be reflected and again it's going to be reflected and directed towards my radar. Alright? So this will be based on what is the cross section of my target. Okay? So the echo signal will largely depends on the cross section. Okay? And based on that we can receive an echo signal. Now, based on the reflection, we can say that we are able to calculate its effective area, right? So, effective area that reflects the radar energy back to receiver is called the radar cross section, right? So, if we want to relate the radar cross section with how much amount of power is going to be received, so P is equals to peak power into gain, that is power gain, into sigma, that sigma is nothing but radar cross section that we need to consider, because whatever we are going to transmit, but based on the shape of my target, that amount of power is only going to be received. Remaining will be reflected or scattered in the space divided by 4 pi r square. Alright, so we need to multiply the radar cross section with over here the overall power. Alright, you can see over here that this is radar antenna and this is our target, which is an aircraft. Okay, so radar is going to transmit the signal to this aircraft. You can see over the yellow line. Okay, yellow line is the incident rays, and this green line represents the return ray, that is a reflected signal. In terms of radar, we can say that it is a echo signal, right? So the incident rays, after incident rays from the radar antenna to the aircraft, we are able to get the return signal or echo signal based on the shape of my target. Alright? So this return signal is going to be spread in terms of shape of my target. So based on how long my signal is going to be transmitted, we are going to say that a signal will undergo a spherical spreading on the way back to the receiver. That's why we are again going to divide it with the help of 4 pi r square. Right? So my received power, that is the power returning from the target, that is equals to P peak into G into sigma upon 4 pi r square whole square. So we can say that the received power, or we can say the power returning from the target, depends on the peak, directly proportional to the peak power, power gain, radar cross section, and inversely proportional to the range. That means if the range is going to increase, the return power is going to decrease. Why? Because a signal will not reach up to a certain distance. Okay, it's going to be attenuated. So we know that what is receive power, but we must need to include what is the aperture efficiency of the antenna, because we have included range, peak power, radar cross section. Okay, but as the signal is going to be received at the antenna, we need to include what is the aperture of antenna, radar antenna, receiving antenna. Okay, so the received power is equals to peak power into gain into sigma into AE. Now AE stands for the effective aperture, right? So the effective aperture we have already discussed. Effective aperture AE is equals to rho into A. Okay, what is rho? Rho is the aperture efficiency, and capital A is the physical aperture of antenna, right? So the effective aperture is equals to aperture efficiency into physical aperture, right? So when here we have multiplied the peak power, gain, and the radar cross section with the effective aperture. So we can say that if the effective aperture of antenna is large, we are able to receive a more power, right? So the small amount of return pulse is collected if the aperture of radar is less. Okay. So the effective aperture determines the amount of energy received, right? So we need to include, when we are going to calculate the received power, peak power, gain, radar cross section, effective aperture, and the radar range that we need to include. So these all are the parameters that depends on how much amount of power is going to be received, right? Now, based on all these parameters, we need to conclude that this should be the minimum signal that needs to be required for detection at receiving side, right? So what is that detection? When the minimum signal for detection is equal to the power density at the receiver, target will go into the detector. Okay? So the whole formula that is for the received power, we can say that it can be a minimum power that needs to be required to detect any target. Okay? So that parameter is known as minimum signal detection. That is S min. So we can say that the received power is equals to S min. So the S min depends on the peak power, gain, radar cross section, effective aperture, and its radar range. Raised to 4. Okay. So this is the equation for the received power. If someone asks, what is the relationship between the minimum detectable power with radar range? We can say that the minimum detectable power is going to be increased if radar range is going to be decreased, because both are inversely proportional. So if we need to calculate the radar range, we must need to replace R max with S min. Okay, so R max over here is going to there and S min will be over here. Okay, so we can say that R max is equals to P peak into G into sigma into A upon 16 pi square S min raised to 1 by 4. Okay, because this R max raised to 4 will go over there and this 4 will be over here after the right hand side of is equals. Okay, so we can say it will be raised to 1 by 2. Okay, so we can say that the maximum radar range depends on peak power, power gain, radar cross section, effective aperture, and the minimum detectable signal, or we can say a minimum detectable power. Alright? So this is the equation for radar range. Like this, that I have told you. We can solve for the radar range. It is a maximum radar range. P peak into G into sigma into A upon 16 pi square S min raised to 1 by 4. Right? So if you need to calculate what is the unit of radar range, we can say that the peak power has a unit in watts, gain is unitless, sigma, that is radar cross section, has a unit meter square, AE, that is the effective aperture, it has a unit meter square, and S min, that is a minimum detectable power, which is unit watts. So these watts and watts are going to be cancelled. Meter square extends to meter raised to 4, and over here 1 raised to 4 is there. So the unit of a maximum radar range is meter. Alright. So this is the equation of maximum radar range that can be asked in the examination. Derive the equation for the maximum radar range. So you need to write it up to this equation. Okay, you need to include all these parameters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Total 5 parameters. It depends on the 5 parameters. Alright. So over here, unit number 1, that is the basic introduction of radar, is finished. But still, if you have any doubt, then ask me over here on my display at any time. So we have finished unit number 1. In the next session, we are going to start unit number 2, that is radar range. Okay. Till then, thank you for your attention.